Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo, what's up?
I have a confession to make.
You start a lot of shows with that.
Rob, we know you're a lizard person. We accept you.
No, I fixed my
you
camera.
pooped your pants. Like, what is it?
I fixed my camera this week. You can't tell I'm a lizard person.
Were you having like an affair with 5 of your coworkers at a police precinct?
Is that like a Law and Order thing, or?
No, it's a thing that happened recently. It's kind of a meme.
Goodness, that's wild. I don't have the mental capacity for something like that, unfortunately.
I was just going over like the usual things that he says when he has a confession to make, which is, pooping his own pants and resetting the shit clock.
Did you place an order for a bunch of geese to unleash on your golf course neighbor?
Oh man, I didn't go to the last meeting because I was just like, I'm just gonna get frustrated and I'm gonna have it out with the mayor.
No, you're just gonna go in there. They're gonna make you sit in a room for 4 hours again, and then you're gonna be mad and walk away.
You live in the Dixie South. You could probably still challenge him to a duel. It's probably still a law on the books there.
It's a lady, and I don't know. It gets a little weird when it, But,
duels are equal opportunity. That's progressive.
I mean, yeah.
Is it? But is it like Bill and Ted rules though? Like where it's like you challenge death to anything, and it could be like a game of Battleship.
Dude, I don't know. But like when she was straight up like Google isn't real or Google's hearsay, and I'm like, I rest my case. You are beyond. You are beyond. You are too far gone.
Oh, well, you made the right choice staying out of that. So you fixed your camera. Good job. It looks better.
I did fix my camera. I spent a bunch of money on a stupid toy. Well, they're not stupid. They're actually pretty cool. I bought a bunch of the Joy toys.
Yep. If you were watching.
Did you see that article that's being picked up all over the place that like the toy industry is having a golden age because of all of the adults buying toys for themselves?
I actually did an editorial on that.
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
Yes, probably. It was on ABC or NBC News. Yeah, that's a real thing. Like Hasbro is, Hasbro literally bought Power Rangers from Namco or Bandai, I forget which.
They're the same company, but yeah.
Just so they could sell that shit to people, that were around in the 90s that were all about Power Rangers.
Yeah.
You see all that Ghostbusters shit that fucking Hasbro buys?
Oh, yeah, you got the Proton Pack.
Yeah. He's been collecting that stuff since they've announced it.
He's been designing it, like, and making it.
Oh, yeah, he's got he's got all his own garage kit versions of everything he's buying.
Insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, so, like, we have on Spiky Bits, I talked to one of the overseas sellers and I was like, yo, I saw you have an affiliate thing. Like, how do we, I could share this, if you actually Google Joy Toy 40K action figure, we're like almost the top result because we've been updating it for like a year and a half, like everything that comes out and like all the stuff and like multiple videos. And I was like, hey, I want to push some traffic your way, give me a discount code so I can like share it with our readers and all this thing. And he's like, yeah, great. So like we did that. And, a lot of people have been going over there and getting the sweet deals and, but they're everywhere. Like you can order it overseas. And if you miss out, you can get it from the American sellers because, they still have them on pre-orders. So like, I was just like, man, I missed out on a couple things already. And I was like, I just got to order the shit, I think, because Joy Toy was like, hey, we're only making one run of these things. So like these things might be worth a lot of money in the future, like it sounds stupid.
Yeah, it does.
But I mean, remember the Bandai Space Marine? Like he was $100 and we were all like, man, that sounds like a lot of money. And then like immediately, like in a year, it was $300. And I'm like,
I mean, if it's the only one they ever made, and that's guaranteed, and if there's a guarantee on that,
dude, I was just like, yeah, I'm selling it. Put it on eBay right now. Like $300.
This isn't like Magic cards where it's like, we're going to reprint stuff that's says it's, like that's not the same. So like, there's a big difference between like, you can never buy this basement again, but then in 5 years, they're like, this is a reprinting. It's not the first gen. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. It's like, it's miniatures. Like it's literally, I physically have this basement. So as long as that's real life, you know what I mean? That they're actually not going to bring it back.
I mean, the key to anything is sell it while it's hot. Like whether it's a Magic card that you crack out of a pack.
Yeah, there's no there's no guarantee that it's limited. Like, so I would
sell
say
it unless you're into it super cheap and you're and it sparks joy. Sell it while it's hot.
And also, don't collect things you love because you think they're going to be worth money as a justification. Just collect things you love.
Yes, 100%.
Like,
so I picked up a lot of the Joy toys, and we could show them during the
after hours. He showed off some of his stuff, and so did Wyatt, guys. So definitely, that's a advertisement pitch to our Patreon page. If you want to check out the after hours content, you can see some of that Marnius action, some of that quad ATV action.
The fisting.
Some hot takes on certain painting techniques that are famous.
Oh, we got some painting news too here in the.
All right, well let's accelerate.
Lizard news section.
Let's move into the most important part of our show, which is what keeps us in the running year after year for the Peabody nominations. We haven't won yet. We're trying. We're nominated every year, but
we'll get there. Yeah,
we're looking for the right. one.
It's an honor just to be nominated.
It is.
Honorable mention.
Kicking it over to Wyatt for Would You Rather.
Would you rather unicycle across America or ride your Heelys across America?
So I basically have to like walk from my house to Rob's house with my Heelys engaged as often as possible. That a lot like, or unicycle.
Yeah. I mean, you get like a few lead up steps for the Heelys, but you can't just like walk. You gotta Heely. You gotta be on the wheels.
I mean, that's tough. You gotta get a running start. They still make Heelys, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Still a thing. I know somebody that bought a pair recently.
Was it you?
No, it was not me. I'm not that coordinated. I have zero rhythm.
So
I didn't buy the upgrade chip.
Break down the Heely mechanic though. Like, so let's say I'm like I step out of this room, kind of Heely over to the back door, Heely to the stairs, walk down the stairs, Heely to my gate. Then I just like Heely down that hill, Heely over to the 101, and kind of just Heely my happy ass over to Rob's house.
I mean, it's basically like a scooter, except for there's no scooter.
Is it both feet or 1 foot is a wheel?
Well, they both have wheels.
Yeah. You kind of got to get like a...
Yeah, both heels have wheels.
Yeah.
So is it like... I've never had them. I've seen people on them. But so you have to like push off with 1 foot to make it work? It's not like it's not like skating?
The only way I've seen people... Like when I had a pair as a kid and like on videos that I've seen, you have to take like a few running steps and then you just like pop on the heels and coast. And I've seen other people be able to do like a one heel push if you're like a skateboard almost, if you're really coordinated with them.
Whereas a unicycle is a problem for stamina for sure. It's worse because it's like there's no chain, so it's like direct gear.
There's no gear.
That's also a balance thing.
Like I can do that. I can definitely balance. I know I have I'm one of those guys who like, you would be shocked by my actual abilities on bicycles and fucking skates. I know I can do it. I think my stamina wouldn't allow for it though. And I think I would die just from exhaustion. But do they even make Heelys, or do I get magic Heelys in my size?
Yeah, you would just get some.
Like it would just, Genie would provide like a size 14 Heely?
Yeah.
All right. I got really big feet for a guy who's only 5'7", chat. Like, so, okay.
Not 5'7".
Unicycle, though. I feel like I can make some waves, though, as the guy unicycling across the country, though.
You don't have to go on the highways either. You can take like the back roads and shit.
Yeah. You take breaks. It's just like you can't have any type of locomotion without using said transport.
No, I'm definitely gonna die in a unicycle. There's no way. Like with all the times you have to dismount, remount, stuff like that to take, to go upstairs or downstairs or pee, things that you just can't. Oh, do I have to pee on the unicycle or just pee my pants? I'm allowed to get off.
I mean, you can get off. It's just that like once you're off, you have to stay in place.
Like it's time to sleep. Like I can walk to my bedroll and go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. But like with all the dismount, mount, like 1,000 of those across the country, it is guaranteed that at one point I will die. Like I will fuck that up and die. There's no way. I have an aversion to being even 1 foot off the ground. Like, not because I have a fear of heights. I have a fear of dying because I fell. So I'm thinking Heelys. Kenny Boucher is going to Heely from Los Angeles to fucking... Where do you live? Southern Pines, Rob?
Yeah.
That's the move. We're going to live stream that shit. We get some Jinkos.
And have your own movement, like Forrest Gump.
My whole backpack is just full of Jinkos. That's it. No other supplies. I'm just hoping you guys will show up to give me water. I have faith. Discman, Sony Discman, only.
Yeah, they're bringing back the Walkman.
Are they?
Yep, it's a real thing. These are Walkman headphones from the 90s.
You're an impressive guy, Rob, with the stuff you've kept in nice condition for that long. I can't keep a pair of headphones operating for more than like 6 months.
What about 30?
30 months?
30 years.
No. What? No, I just said 6 months. That's less. That's any number over that is impossible for me.
Just gotta take care of your stuff, dog.
I do. I have to learn how to take care of my stuff better. I'm not lying. You're right. And it's not because like shit just breaks because it's bad. It's just like I throw shit on the ground, leave it over here, knock it over, spill drinks on it. Like just terrible. I'm awful. Like, yo. So I do Heelys. That'd be good to me.
I think I'll do the unicycle.
Yeah.
Just take.
Can we do our trip together then?
No,
or do we have to start in opposite sides of the country, kind of high five each other as we walk by as we Heely/unicycle past each other? Or can I like fly to his house and then we can go together and hold hands the whole time?
I'll allow it.
Nice.
That's something.
As long as you don't hold each other's hands for balance.
Okay. Fair. You in on that, Rob?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Tight. There it is. There's your answer. Hopefully they'll give us a Peabody for that one. We'll see. Moving over to what's up?
I'll bring my car. I'll be like the follow car, and I'll film it. We can make a documentary.
Thank you for being the follow car and not the pace car. We'll die.
Yeah,
don't.
I'm
be
sure
the
Netflix would buy it. Like, make some money off it.
Oh my goodness!
Definitely a dancing scene in the middle, Kara Quinn. No doubt. We'll practice.
I'll have to upgrade my chip.
We'll pick something from the No Strings Attached album.
What if we planned it around what do they call the yearly gathering of the Juggalos?
Dark Carnivals.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if we planned it around that so that like you go halfway and you visit that and then you continue on to the West Coast?
No. I mean, are you comfortable with that, Rob?
Yeah.
Because people will use you like currency, though. So that's the. And like, I'm not allowed to support you through balance, so like, you're gonna get ripped off. You're gonna say, "Dog."
Yeah, that's fair.
It'll be like a zombie apocalypse.
There's gonna be some juggalettes that definitely want a piece of that, Rob.
Wouldn't be the first time, I guess.
You're gonna want that, nice. Rob Bussy.
All right, well, let's move on to Mantis news. Rob has a really pressing news thing he wants to cover, a news cycle. And he earlier in the after hours, he mentioned that he had something real serious for us. He was struggling to remember it, but I'm certain he's remembered it by now. So,
oh man, he's loading up on some water.
He's getting ready for a Rob Baer rant. It's going to be classic. I can tell.
He's going back to the water.
Just drinking an entire bottle of water.
I had Sambuca with my espresso tonight.
Sambuca with your espresso.
Mm-hmm.
So you had caffeine late at night and booze?
Yeah.
Oh my god! We're about to see Rob at more than 1% of his full power.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Guys, you got to get your uppers with your downers to even you out. That's how it works. That's how it works. No, I actually forgot what I was that pressing issue, but I have lots of other stuff to talk about. So lots of rumors out there this week. I had a really long conversation with the industry insider a few weeks back, and about a lot of things GW just overall. And one of the things that they mentioned was that BFG has been done for like 3 years, just sitting. They just haven't been able to put it out because of all the bullshit. Kind of wild when you think about it. But
BFG is already done, ready to go.
Yeah, play tested, ready to go. Wow.
This triggered you?
No, not at all. I mean, I get it. A lot has happened in the world in the past 3 years. GW struggled. A lot of companies have struggled. UK isn't at its best right now, of course. I think that's one of the reasons we didn't see any actual video previews over the holidays when we had in the past and they just did those like silhouette little video things. Normally there was a holiday / New Year's preview. Sometimes there was a Christmas preview and a New Year's preview. We didn't get none of that this year. Nothing live, nothing, because I think, people are just really valuing their time as they should. And GW's having a lot of manpower issues. If you're wondering what that noise is.
Nobody can see this on a podcast, by the way.
Oh man.
He's pointing at his
find
dick.
Some paper. Oh, yep. She found a bag.
I was confused.
I put my to-go bag on the floor and she is destroying it.
So
first
Rob said, you wonder what that sound is, he pointed the camera right at his dick. And then he moved over to the right and it's his cat just obliterating some paper.
Just going to town.
She woke up today and chose violence.
Mm-hmm. Shredding. So we don't need we don't need excuses though, Rob, or explanations of why something took so long. So it's exciting that Battlefield Gothic is ready for release.
Well, I mean, it's not printed, it's not in warehouses or anything like that. But it's been ready to go. They have it all designed and everything like that. And we've seen that in the past with a lot of special character figures where they've been designed for multiple years. I also heard that GW is purposely gaslighting a certain content creator out there with a lot of information. Apparently that's their new thing is kind of
feed people the wrong information.
No, they'll kind of leak it through certain channels,
see if you have the fake discover where their leaks are.
Sort of I guess because there's kind of this feudal power struggle apparently happening at GW between the different departments. And one department's we need to do it this way, and the other department's no, we need to do it this way. So information is being leaked to certain content creators purposefully under the guise of that they're a different individual and all this. It's very cloak and dagger shit. And I'm just there isn't enough money in this hobby to be doing this shit. It's stupid. But it
does sound dumb.
It's just so down the rabbit hole. Tinfoil
GW turf war going on within the company.
Yeah, it's wild. There's just the shit going on right now. It's just I haven't seen anything like it or heard anything like it in 10 years when they're all conspiring against Kirby to get him out. So I don't know. Either way, so BFG's been on the books. They just haven't had, and a lot of things, they just haven't had the space to get these items out. But recently, one of the tells is they put it up on their Instagram. They put the full cover of the box set up, and they're what was your favorite thing about BFG? Yo, that post in the first like 3 hours got like 21,000 likes. And I was like, holy shit, this is insane. Like nothing has resonated that much on GW's socials lately. So I was like, well, I kind of already knew some stuff. So I put a post out. Insane response. Insane. Like people are ready to buy BFG.
People were hype on Battlefield Gothic, dude. That shit was...
Your brother played it.
Oh, dude. Like, we had a whole sub-chapter of the 40K Wrecking Crew that were, like, going to BFG tournaments and winning.
Yep.
There was it's like Epic. Epic and BFG were, like, tournament-ready game systems. Like, they were just so well done for that in the era. So, there's a huge group of people who played it not only casually, but competitively and hobbied on it.
Dude.
Rob, do you know if they're also going to like put BFG like tied to Horus Heresy, or is it going to be like actual BFG?
That I don't know.
It'll be tied. It'll be tied into something in such a way that your old models are invalid.
Oh, yeah.
No, I just mean
different
like
scale.
I think one of the problems they have with these side games they keep making for like 40K as a larger IP is they like put this anchor around their neck by making them Horus Heresy. And I don't know why they keep doing it, because like what people want, what they say they want is they want BFG and they want Epic 40K. They don't want something like Titanicus, which is literally just like less spiky Titans versus spikier Titans. Or, like they want like, oh, if like I want my Eldar stuff, I want my Necron stuff, I want my Orc stuff, like I want my Stompa for Titanicus. But because it's Horus Heresy, like you're never going to get that.
The reason, and they keep pivoted to Epic 40K, but the reason that I was told why they're doing that is because of licensing, right? So
they make the license.
If you're a licensee and you want to come on, you're like, yo, I want to make 40K. I want to make this. And they're like, okay, you want the 40K license. But I want to make Primarchs. Oh, well, that's the Horus Heresy license. You got to pay extra for that. So
I don't understand. Like
by differentiating the lines, so you got Fantasy, you got Sigmar, you got 40K, you got Heresy,
okay,
you got Blood Bowl. So these two don't blur. Like the
it's
Horus
a clever
Heresy
way of making of having two different licenses for the same thing, basically.
Right.
Yeah, but what does this have to do with them not producing wider content for these side games?
Because they know that these folks over here will buy it, and if a licensee wants to come on board, they'll pay extra for the license.
But what if it?
No, that's not to say that they won't do 40. They won't do Epic 40K, and it won't splash over.
Oh, because it has to be two things. So it can't be the same thing because then it blurs. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, okay.
Well, sort of.
So, like, to expand upon my point, right? A game like Titanicus, everybody was super stoked about that,
right?
Until they were like Horus Heresy, and then the hype like fell off a fucking cliff. And like the first question everybody asked was like, "Will you add orcs and will you add Eldar?" And they were like, "No." And then people were like, "We don't want this game. We don't want it," and it fucking just died immediately. So I'm just like, why do they keep tying these things that people obviously want? And then like,
because if it is a licensing scenario, licensing made more of the profits than games sales did. So whatever they're saying is like, there is a bigger piece of their fucking engine right now. Video game licensings, whatever, Joy Toy license, whatever. So whatever they're saying, even if we don't understand it, is kind of like they're in charge.
Because they already have the video game for Battlefield Gothic. So,
maybe it's because licenses already exist. I don't know. Maybe it's because like they're already beholden to the license that they've extended. But remember, I don't know.
The BFG game, they bought a BFG license. Nothing else. They can't do 40K. They can't do Heresy. Like they couldn't put Primarchs in it and shit.
Yeah. So why is it an issue?
It doesn't seem easy to understand. It seems like a mistake for sure.
Yeah, I don't understand like the crossover, because it's like if people want Epic 40K, just give them Epic 40K. Like it just seems like such an easy thing.
It does, but you got to remember a lot of these things are also developed by either a one person or a 2-person team. And they don't have the ability to be like, all of this is coming into this project too. That's where it gets a little dicey, like with the internal like politics.
That makes a little bit more sense to me. With being so compartmentalized and so vertically scaled, like you can't. And with all of you, and most of it being an IP lore house now, it's not an easy.
So strange.
You can't just say like, "Yo, we're gonna do this Epic 40K thing," blah blah blah. But like, that also means books, stories, lores, and tie-ins. So like the more of those, the less likely your project is probably going to get greenlit within the vertically scaled company that's compartmentalized.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, like when people like watch a movie and then it comes out that like the movie was much better before like the studio producers got their hands on it.
Yeah,
like this reeks of that.
Yeah,
right. Because
I agree.
Like people want Battlefleet Gothic, and it's like, okay, well you made like gunships and fighters for Aeronautica. But nobody wants Aeronautica. They want BFG. You made Titans, but planes can't be in it. Tanks can't be in it. Other like factions can't be in it, and like no infantry in it. But people are like, we wanted Epic 40K.
No, you're making a great comparison to a studio pitching. Like it's literally, we need to get this greenlit. We need to pitch it. It needs to be pitchable and producible, and that is usually tied to budget and availability, right? And ROI. And so like, the fact that they're having to like kind of pitch these within the company's compartments to get things greenlit, it's like they're designing it to be watered down so that they can get greenlit. Period.
You would think that they've learned their lesson with Dreadfleet, because like if everybody is like, we want Epic 40K, we want BFG, and they're like, here's this dumb game about airplanes, and nobody fucking buys it.
Look, my biggest fear has been that licensing is going to be steering the ship more and more as we move into the future. That's something I said like a year ago when we saw the taxes.
I mean, sure, but like they're not leveraging the license of these games. Like they're
so
withering on
they
the
don't
vine.
care. I'm not saying it's about like them in the leveraging. I'm saying it's about, we don't give as much about that as this. Less resources, less effort. More resources, more effort.
And a lot of times, a lot of products from companies are just only designed to have a shelf life of a couple of years, and then that's it. We as a game industry or as gamers are a little bit spoiled because we expect things to stay the same constantly, and that's just really unrealistic from a product standpoint. Unfortunately, like I would love for my shit to stay the same constantly, but it's just not the case. And Titanicus, it started off strong. It has not been strong lately. And I would say a lot of their side brand games kind of the same thing, but until the numbers say otherwise, they're going to keep making them.
So let's move on to your next point. But it seems like this has the potential to disappoint based on this exact Titanicus equation. So
I mean, it's possible.
I have a very strong feeling that they're going to, if they show off like some dope plastic ships in the scale of like Star Wars Armada, and then they're like, oh, by the way, this is for Horus Heresy. People are going to be like, boo. This is not what we wanted.
I want an Orc Rock, son. Like,
I want like my Necron fucking Star Eater ship. I want my Eldar Corsairs, like all that shit.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully it doesn't disappoint us, but it might. And these are some of the reasons why.
That's why I initially asked the question. Because I'm just like,
good question.
Why do they keep doing this?
But by the time we see the first previews, it's already too late.
It's too late. No, you're right. You've said that so many times. And that's my
point. Is like
so late.
I just don't like. So I don't understand why they were so willing to be like, Dreadfleet is not working. It no longer exists. Like fucking.
They did
shut it down.
It came out and it was gone. It didn't sell.
Exactly. And I'm just like, I mean, like the models for Titanicus is cool. And I mean, like memes aside, it was like semi-popular for a little bit, but like it fucking just died. Like it just fell off a cliff and died because there was they never expanded it beyond like more of these like Titan variants when people were like begging on their knees for like Orc Stompas and Eldar Knights. So like, why not just make that and make all the fucking money? Like, I just don't get it.
Again, I mean, if we try to figure out why GW does half the shit they do,
I know, dude. It's like living in the Twilight Zone. I can't stand it.
On the tournament side of things, GW announced their US Open series. It looks like it is shrinking by one event. They're also introducing team events as well, team tournament events for one of the tournaments.
What kind of team tournaments?
Same as ATC.
Okay.
Tight.
2 weeks before ATC.
Okay.
Tight.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's people practice.
It is what it is. So there's that. I can't read my next thing.
Cancer won't. physically cannot or won't.
Cannot. I have now deciphered my handwriting. This says missing guard. So guard releases this week. We'll cover that here in a second. But there's a noticeable amount of releases also still missing. As people might have noticed, the Aegis defense line, which is, I guess, a reboot of the one from 10 years ago. The Attilian Rough Riders, also not coming out. There's rumored to be a combat patrol. I guess in the codex, they show the same models that are in the army book, but without the codex in the cards. And they're like talking about how that's an example of a combat patrol, but we don't necessarily know that is going to be the combat patrol box, but just kind of throwing it out there, so to speak, because it's really hard to say at this point. And the Acadian accessory sprue that we saw actually made its way to eBay, sold on eBay, and then GW had to like emergency preview it. So that's kind of interesting.
That's funny.
I don't know. So perhaps and Kasrkin, which are going to come out as a kill team release, which are going for over $100 right now for the box on eBay.
Oof.
Yeah.
What does that box normally cost? What should it cost?
Probably 60 max.
What's the cost of the Deathcore Creek box?
60.
Yeah, probably 60 then.
The problem is they short printed that boarding action or Into the Dark box. Was it Into the Dark? I forget which one it even was anymore. It like stores didn't get it. So who knows what happened there. But yeah, Kasrkin, a lot of money. A lot of money.
Well, they're busted right now. So doesn't
also
oof.
Also
even
super
like,
convenient.
Just talking to some of like the most OG staunchest Imperial Guard players, they're like, bro, this needs an FAQ.
Kasrkin's like 100 before nerf, $49.99 after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so Guard Codex comes out this week, or goes on pre-order, comes out next week. So we're not even going to see an FAQ for it till like February.
Yeah. Well, it's not even it's not the unit, it's a stratagem.
Yeah.
And it's a convergence of things. So they're just like, we ignore all your dumb rules, and also we deal a preposterous amount of mortals. And it needs an FAQ.
So everyone's going to buy their $100 Kasrkins. But the thing is, that's not even a statement we can make anymore, because, like, honestly, you could also 3D print your Kasrkins.
Or you just have the old ones.
Or you already have them. If you're an IG player, you already have them.
Yeah, we're just...
Because even the old ones were the best guard models.
Yeah, they're so tight looking. I have a bag of them in here.
They're like always been my favorite guard models.
Yeah, I picked some up at... what is it called? I think it's like Millennium Con or something. It's like the Boomer Con that we have in Austin every year. That's mostly for like Napoleonics and World War II gaming or whatever. But there's always people there like selling old shit. And I had so much guard from this guy because he was selling them for like $1 a model.
That's wild. That's a pickup. So all that guard stuff, hopefully we'll see that in the wave 2. Now coming out, I'm going to be honest with you. The Imperial Guard release this week is shockingly cheap, in my opinion. All of these units, I was shocked when the prices came out. So the Acadian Heavy Weapon Squad is $50. Now the previous one was $35. So I kind of get it. Excuse me, it was $45. So it's only $5 more with total new resculpts. Now, obviously, you're going to need more of them because everybody takes
it's going on pre-order this Saturday?
Yeah, goes on pre-order this Saturday. The Rogodoran battle tank, $90. We've seen, the Spartan, for instance, 112 or 110, I forget.
Still seems like a lot.
It seems like a lot
For one tank?
for one tank, which
Let's see. Let's
technically
go to
the Macarius is about the same.
Let's go to the
If-
Space Marines and look at the Executioner.
Oh, I think those are one something.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm.
110? Wow, these have gone up. Well, okay. Yeah, these have gone up since the last time I looked.
Oh,
That's preposterous.
I believe the battle wagon for orcs is 110 as well.
God damn.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I remember buying those for $50 and
Yeah.
when they first came out. Anyways, so $90. It seems like a lot, but when you start what we just talked about, that is kind of less, shockingly. The Lord Solar Leonatus, it's $60 for the dude on the horse. Now, I don't quite get that one, so maybe it's an outlier. I guess they figure everybody's only going to buy one, so let's get our money.
Yeah, they do that with a lot of stuff like that.
Yep. The field ordnance battery, that's the two squads on the those big guns on the 80 mil bases. Those are $55, which also shockingly seems like a good value when you compare it to something like the Fire Strike turret for Space Marines, which is $35 for one.
So 55 for one or three?
55 for the box of two, or for the squad of two.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. If it was one, I'd be a little salty.
I think 55 ain't a bad price for it compared to other stuff. The Cadian Shock Troopers, $50. We just talked about Deathcore Creed, or $60.
Fair.
I mean, yeah, it's more than the last Cadians, but they're pretty tight. Ursula Creed, $45. Again, an outlier. It's a special character. You're only going to buy one. Special characters used to be $35. I don't know. Cadian Command Squad, $45. Doesn't seem bad. The Sentinel is only $45. Previously $35 for the old plastic. Well, recently,
Box of one?
For one.
10 more bucks, right?
10 more bucks. Way better.
I would almost rather it be like 65 for two or like 70 for two.
Eventually they'll do a double pack or something, I'm sure. Speaking of which, the Leman Russ battle tank with all the variants, $60 now.
So what's the box of armatures?
80.
85?
Oh, 85?
Yeah, well, because like when you think about Sentinels, I don't know. I feel like it should be like somewhere in the 70 to 80 range for two of them rather than 45 for one.
Maybe we'll see that. Remember, they always do this stuff. Like they come out as singles, then they double pack them, re-release them, just like they're doing with the Leman Russ with all the variants for 60. The Baneblade's coming out for 170 again with all the versions in it. And also this is like actual retail. So if you're buying from your local game store, you might get a 10 to 20% off just because it's the local game store. 100%. That Psyker is $33.50. The Primaire Psyker, that was the one that came in the Arena board game and from 2019. Now it's available separately. And the Baneblade is $170, so the same as the Imperial Knights. Guard Codex $55. The data card's $29, and the dice are $35 for 15 dice now, not 20. So be aware of that. It's a little
shortness on dice now. Come on,
shorten. They went down from 38 to 35. You get 5 less dice.
That doesn't seem that conversion doesn't work out. I don't like that.
No, it does not.
It's like grocery stores, raising boxes of cereals by $1, but also shortchanging us by like 4 ounces. But keeping the box size the same. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, it's a little silly. On the third-party miniature side, AMG revealed no rules, no nothing except for a look at the box set for Emma Frost and Psylocke for Marvel Crisis Protocol. 2 versions of Emma Frost. You get her normal and her diamond form, and then Psylocke just doing Psylocke things.
Beating that ass.
Yeah, getting ready. Star Wars Legion rulebook, the new core rulebook dropped. It's free download off AMG site on Monday. Lots of new, really interesting changes there. I don't want to waste everybody's time with it, but there's a lot of interesting stuff there. It's a good read. Night Models announced a couple days ago that they got the Game of Thrones license from HBO. So not only do they have Game of Thrones, but they also have House of the Dragon. Don't know where that's going, but hey, good on them. That might be pretty interesting. The Forge World Horus model went on pre-order for a mere $144. It's on an 80 mil base, and the model inside of it looked to be on a 40 mil base. So if you want that brand new Horus Ascended model, it will be shipping out this week, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I want him.
Hey, he looks good. He looks good.
I mean, I'm not buying him. Not in Forge World.
No, absolutely not.
Wait for the recasters to get a hold of it, fix all the nasty mold slippages and broken parts, then I'll buy it from them.
It's funny because the Horus Heresy is definitely a cut above like the Primarch series, the other Forge World stuff. And I've interacted with so many of them over the years. Mm-hmm. Definitely more well-packed, more prestigious, more luxury feeling. But still, even that is their premium shit, man. I have never not had a problem for a luxury price tag.
I was going to say, like, I've bought 3 of the Primarch models back when they were like new coming out, and they were all dog shit.
Like, you know, it's funny. I think they've advanced since then because I've had more recent interactions with them. They're not dog shit, but there's a problem every time, and it's a small problem. A problem I would overlook for a different price that I would just hobby harder to recover from. You know what I mean? And so I demand perfection from my financial exchange at that premium price. So like,
yeah, if you're paying a premium price, you want a premium price.
So the Horus Ascended is like, I am Jane my D to that model. Damn, did I say a curse word in the first 5 minutes of the show? Fuck, I probably
It's 70 seconds. I checked.
I don't remember.
Damn,
it's 70 seconds. It's fine.
I just remembered. I was like, can I say, because I started saying J my D, you know? So like, I was like, is that a curse?
I don't know, man. Like, I just, as time goes on, I mean, I just got in the mail a set of models from RTLW, and they're basically the exact same market as Forge World.
RTL is like someone I compare Forge World to all the time as a boutique pressure cast, you know, resin caster who maintains insane quality control and like
I'm holding up a bag for people just listening to this, but like, here's the thing: is they're cheaper than Forge World by a significant margin. The resin is pre-cleaned. So for those of you who don't know, there is a spray-on agent that they put into the molds, mold release. So the resin has an easier time popping out of the molds. It leaves a filmy, greasy residue on the resin, and Forge World does not clean that off. So if you've ever been like assembling Forge World models and you're like, why the fuck won't my super glue like bond and cure? It's because it's got that mold release grease all over it. So you got to like scrub that shit off. And even then, sometimes it doesn't come off. You have to use like rubbing alcohol or Simple Green or something just to get it off of there. So with RTL, like, they wash their stuff before sending it to you. Also, they don't send you defective parts. They're just like, oh, this didn't cast right, garbage. Put another one in there that actually works. Whereas Forge World is just like, fuck them, you know. And then the other thing is they snip all of the pore gates off of their pieces before they ship them out too. So there's like very minimal amount of like hobbying on that side that you have to do before assembling stuff. Like, you can just get them out of the bag, put them together, start painting, and they're cheaper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as Ogre on chat mentions, like, Wargames exclusive, that comes to mind as well. Like, again,
another one if you like their style.
Like,
yep,
it's like, no, so like, but I do want Horus Ascended. I want them so bad. Like, I'm just not gonna pay $140 for them. But I mean,
if I could guarantee you without a doubt that the model that I get is as high quality as what the one they showed, I would buy it. Mm-hmm. But it's not.
You can look at that model and you know it's going to be broken when you get it.
Well, remember, when you see that model, that's a 3D print they painted up too.
That too. That's
so,
the
like,
prototype.
yeah, and they never they never quite divulge that, to everybody. And here's another thing to consider when it comes to those character series. Now they've rebranded them to be on Games Workshop site too, so they're making even more of them. And heck, they gave them out to free to all those content creators to paint up and showcase and stuff. And you've never seen them giving out Forge World before, ever. So like this is a very important pivot to them, to these high interest items, these high, I imagine it's a decent amount of profit too, to put those out and, get them to everybody and try to sell them at their shows, at their, all these different things out there. So it's just something to be aware of. They don't do it for everything, but slowly and surely they are rebrand. By the way, there's only 6 models listed in Forge World for Age of Sigmar, and they're all 40K compatible. They have completely gutted the whole Age of Sigmar line, unfortunately. Very sad. Very sad to see. I guess they weren't selling. I don't know. And even those models have all been replaced by plastic models at this point. All those chaos demons and such.
Like the big boys.
Yeah, and some of the heralds and such. So, just kind of something to keep in mind there. Unfortunately, it's kind of getting wild out there. So, what else did we talk about? Oh yeah, Forge World cheap. So next week, I believe on the 24th, the Duncan Rhodes 2 Thin Coats Paints 2.0 Kickstarter will go live, and they've already got over 2,000 people on their notify me when this goes live list.
New recipe or just more colors?
Just more colors.
Oh,
Yep.
Go support my man Duncan.
Good for him.
So if you're really into Duncan, hey, this is your time to throw that man some money.
Yeah.
If you're a game store, I wouldn't order those paints, because Asmodee is going to be up your ass trying to get you to buy those paints, because they're the official distro. But I mean, it's really hard to stock something that everybody bought at a Kickstarter. It's a very slippery slope. So maybe look at bringing another line in, like Monument Hobbies or Army Painter, or, well, don't give away a because you can never get enough of it here in the States. It's just really hard to get in. So just kind of keep that in mind. A little bit of
the AKA 3rd gen, the acrylics they came out with. Those are really nice.
A lot of the European painters love them, but again, I think Duff imports them and sells them.
Yeah, he's a licensed seller.
Yeah,
a lot of stores will carry it.
I mean, it's really hard because there isn't a dedicated distro for them here in the States, unless you go through some of the model distributors.
I thought Golden did distro for those.
Golden's kind of a mixed bag right now. They're having a lot of issues. Really hard to work with, from what I understand from all the stores we pulled. Another Kickstarter goes live the same day. Heresy Labs doing their Heresy Maidens set 2.0 as well. So that was a great Kickstarter that came off a while ago, and they'll have that up and ready to go. So check it out. It's basically some reimagined 40K Prom Marks.
Yeah,
seen a few of them. They look pretty good. So that's all the big stuff there. As far as news goes, of course, there will be a preview. We won't be here next Thursday because Kenny will be at LVO. I'll be working the preview, of course, because I'm sure they're going to show a lot of dope shit.
One can hope.
I think they will.
So you want to transition into our 40K stuff? Meat and potato section brought to you by Wyatt and Blood for the Blood God.
Yeah. So we had a battle report get published recently from Games Workshop showing off Angron and the boys versus those dastardly Grey Knights, just, schoolyard bullies, the Grey Knights. And we got some info on the Blood Tithe, which is one of the new mechanics for World Eaters. More or less, stuff dies, you get skulls for the skull throne, and the blood floweth, you get points. If every unit from your army has World Eater's keyword, excluding models from Agents of Chaos or unaligned, you can gain Blood Tithe points over the course of the battle as described below. Keep a note of your tithe points in total, and there's 3 bullets. Each time a unit is destroyed, you get 1 point. At the end of each phase, if any character, monster, or vehicle units were destroyed, you gain 1 additional. At the end of each phase, if any Titanic models were destroyed, you gain 1 additional. And then there are some things you can spend them on, such as +1 to hit, some auto wounds, some other buffs. But the big one is you can resurrect Angron. So if he dies, I think it's on the next turn. So not like immediately, but on the next turn, he can come back onto the battlefield as a deep strike. So he can't come in within 9 of enemy models, that sort of thing. And then also with Arcs of Omen, we got a preview of the World Eater's secondaries.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, find the page.
How many blood ties to bring Angron back?
6.
Yep.
What, or any monster creature.
Yeah.
So you got to go work for your 6 points,
Yeah, you gotta do
bank
some
them,
work.
and then spend them.
Right.
Well, when he dies, he gives you 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So then you
half.
really only need 3 more.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's not like, I mean, I think it's the right thing, right? But the World Eaters get 3 secondaries, which is tight because some people's secondaries got taken away from them in this book.
Mhm.
And they're all based around just like doing what World Eaters do, like killing stuff off of objective and giving up these Blood Tithe points. So you don't get points for spending them. That would be too OP. But if you discard them, you get victory points. So if you're just like swimming in Blood Tithe points, you can just discard them for VP, which is pretty cool.
It makes sense because you can do so much stuff with them.
Yeah, it's like it's a cool mechanic. Didn't they do something similar with the Age of Sigmar mortal corn people?
I don't know quite about that, but I know they're into Demonkin when that was a thing.
People in chat are saying that there's a similar system in AOS.
Yeah, I never played the corn mortals in Sigmar, but I heard of something like a similar mechanic. But yeah, I mean, like you can in limited quantities get advanced in charge. I think it's like 1 unit can do it. You can get bonus attacks, you can get bonus AP, like a lot of small little buffs all over the place by spending these points, which is pretty cool.
So this is like their Legion trait.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're still going to have the Legion trait that they currently have in the White Dwarf, maybe updated slightly. Which off the top of my head, I can't remember if it's like.
I mean, it'll be more like the Death Guard Codex, where like it's baked into them. Like so, like there are things that you're used to seeing them as a bullet pointed Legion will just be in their data sheets, and this is the rules, like the Plague Marine shit.
Oh yeah, they get like +1 attack on the charge where it's charged or heroic.
Because since they're their own thing, it's not going to be about them having like what Chaos Space Marines present is the same codex with different shifts. It'll be like, how if Death Guard were a Legion, it would say disgusting resilience and slow and advance, relentless advance or whatever the fuck it is. Like, but they have also the what is it called? The fucking what's the thing that Death Guard have? The contagion aura.
Yeah, contagions.
So it's going to be more
this
like
is their
that.
version of contagion. This is
They have the Blood Tithe scale, and you're gonna see every unit's gonna have, those what we knew as Legion traits just in their abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's tight. That's the kind of buff they needed to be their own standalone joint. Is they needed some other mechanic that exists only for them outside of all of it, and that's a pretty cool mechanic. And you can get Angron back to life. So, infinite res, dog. Let's go. OP.
It's pretty cool.
Which is honestly super narrative because he's like constantly dying and coming back.
Yeah. It's like his whole thing.
That's like his thing. It's his calling card.
So yeah, it'd be cool. And Rob, you said you didn't watch it?
I don't have Warhammer Plus. I refuse.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I just didn't watch it because I'm lazy. So I guess that's on me. That's my fault.
Yeah, it honestly seems pretty fine. Like 6 blood ties to bring Angron back. So I'm thinking of like, if he's like 490 points or whatever he's going to be, what is he going to be?
3 something?
Ooh,
Yeah, it was 380. I forget.
Dirty. It's a little strong to lead with, but that's the kind of rules we need. You need to lead strong. And then if it becomes an infinite res cycle that is unbeatable or some shit, then you do the thing that we did with Tide of Traders back in the day. 1 use. Right? Because that
I mean, it's like Gilliman's thing. Like you can only come back one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a thing that becomes a problem, 1 use. Well, let's see if it is a problem. A lot of people are worried about it.
Yeah, and also in that battle report, we got to see the model in use, and he's actually not that big. Or I mean, he's a large model by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not like swoller than Bloodthirster. Like
He's
we
not
thought he was
like
going to be huge.
Displaced by 66% wing real estate. Like,
Yeah, so he's like, I would just eyeball on the picture, I'd say maybe like 1.25 inches taller than a Dread Knight purely because of his wings. So he's actually not that big
and they're
in
swooped
terms
back,
of big
they're
models.
profiled. Yeah. So it is possible that he will be sometimes with no windows and shit like that, obscured by certain ruin features in some games, which is neat, right? Not something you can count on, but you know what you can? Bringing it back to life, which I like because it's essentially an alpha strike mitigation tool. Yeah. So you go second, someone just GG's your fucking Angron. That sucks real bad. That's why I didn't want to bring him.
You're already halfway there, so you just gotta.
So you only need to do 3 Blood Tithe points. Maybe that's turn 3. He comes back to the battlefield turn 3, and you get to play him again. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I see here. Like,
so
that's
it's tight. Cool. And then, I mean, not all terrain, but some terrain, he actually will be able to block line of sight behind. It depends on the size and the percentage of Swiss cheese that terrain is. But some terrain, like you can put him behind there and hide him from a gun alpha strike, which is pretty cool. Like he's swole enough to be a dope model, but not to the point of like detriment. And that's what I was pleasantly surprised by.
Yep. Now that's actually cool. Really cool. You start to go back to your World Leader project?
Yeah, I mean, like the Artel models that I was just showing you was Khorne Berserkers. They had a Christmas bundle where you could get like 30% off on their Berserker squad. So I picked up a couple and they just came in the mail. I'll probably still get some of the new ones and just kind of like intersperse these guys into the squads. So it's not like egregious, you know? And then like you have the new stuff like the 8-bound, the Juggalo Lord and his little Juggalos, Angron, obviously. So I'll be picking that stuff up.
Hell yeah. I'm stoked. World Leader is definitely one of my first armies within I think it was my second completed, actual force back in the old days. Was off the White Dwarf article for World Leader rules.
I'll have to see what base size the what is he called? An Invocator? The guy on the Juggernaut?
Thought he was just
Lord Invocatus.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, like, I got the actual Khorne Juggernaut model that I converted for the stream a months ago. For those listening, it's the Juggernaut from Marvel, but he's been corned out to the nines. And
I think it looks so cool. Fresh.
Yeah, so I have I might just put him on whatever base that Lord Invocatus comes on, and he'll be my Juggernaut of Khorne.
That's that's an inside joke. I love that though. Like, that's a pun.
Then I got my custom Karn the Betrayer from our boy Carnage King. Commissioned him to make a kind of like an homage to the old school Karn,
old school, but scaled up.
Yeah, he looks really cool. I'm excited to get him on the table. Oh, and I got that one you sent me. The one like the lone Berserker that you just you forgot and put it in a box by accident.
No, I sent you a whole. Oh no, he is the sergeant of that squad.
Oh, the Legionnaire squad?
Because they have the mark of Khorne.
Okay.
And so
I thought you just accidentally grabbed a Berserker.
He's the sergeant that represents to everyone that it's a Red Corsair with the mark of Khorne squad.
Oh. I'll put him in my army just for you. He's gonna look like a child next to these dude guys.
Like with oversized dopey hands.
He's gonna be like the small dude. You like, don't mess with that guy.
He's like, you're a child, but you have like the hands of an ogre, son. What the hell's going on with this? Like, this doesn't make sense. But hell yeah, that's exciting information for anybody out there who's been waiting for World Eaters to be hype, and all the people for the last year have been like, Angron, oh, is it gonna happen? Like, dog, it's all here. The future is now.
Yes.
Let's go.
It's happening.
I mean, this is like something we've been waiting for so long. Like, now I got some things to consider. I got some fucking soul searching to do.
Yep.
Fuck. But,
stoked.
But I think that we're inside Rob's bedtime, and I think we actually did it. We won't, as Rob said, I'll reiterate, no show next week because LVO.
Yep.
But there'll be some Spiky Bits coverage. You'll be able to stay up to date on spikybits.com and keep an eye on the prize. There'll be some social media posts coming from me, Demeki, and the crew. So we won't leave you without any beats to step to. But let's shut it down. Wyatt, take us out of here, man.
Head on over to thelongwar.net if you want all of our extra content. Become a member of the Long War today.